Welcome to Conversations with My Cuz. I am Shayla Shay.
And it's me, your girl Michelle with the 1L.
Hey, it's Brother Love, DJ Big Rock.
Like your shades.
Okay, you
What's
looking
up,
kind
ladies?
of, Barry Whitish
Hi.
or
How y'all doing
something.
today? You know what I'm
Like
saying? Got the
somebody beat you
sideburns
with
done
the
and all
ugly
that.
Jim
shit.
Jonish. I don't know what's really going on, but hey,
Ain't no
whatever
crying
works.
going on over here, though.
Uh-huh. Somebody bust you in the eye.
What's going on, ladies? How y'all? Let me tell y'all something. Take this off for a minute. Let me tell you what's going on here. Y'all had a very interesting weekend. I really, really did. But I want
Uh-oh.
to find out what's going on with y'all first. What's going on? How was y'all this week?
What
Um,
did I do this week? I was in the street a lot. I went to a Women's History Month program at Prince Hall Gave this weekend. It was absolutely amazing. It's just a wonderful way to like close out Women's History Month and celebrate women. So I had a really good time there, and it was a really great bunch of women that were awarded for all they're doing in the community, and then they fed me really well. So it was a good thing. Then
Oh,
my
okay.
church, my pastor acted up a little bit. We had what was called the Word and the Wine,
Oh,
and went to
okay.
Londel's and had a wine tasting with a sommelier. And I
All
don't know if
right.
I said that right, but he gave this really great history of French wineries, and like we tasted three different wines. And then my pastor just spoke about wine in the Bible, and how it's all about moderation and not gluttony, and how
So this too big. This got
alcoholism
too much
is.
going on here.
Yeah. I don't think he would approve of that. We don't think he would approve of that. But it was a really great time. Like I learned a lot. I'm a wine drinker, but I still learned a lot about vintages, and the different ways that you can curate wine and what to look for and so forth. So I got a couple bottles coming.
Okay, all right,
nice,
stop
nice,
it
nice. Well,
now.
as for me,
Hmm.
I worked and I was kind of domesticated. I rearranged my kitchen today and I did some cleaning and so forth and so on. So that's pretty much what I
Oh,
did.
Spring
womanly
is in the
duties.
Sorry?
Womanly duties.
It's because spring is in
Whoa.
the air.
Ho, 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 ho. Did you hear what he just said?
I did. I don't want to address it because that's just gonna make me angry. He
I'm
wants
just
me
Okay.
saying.
angry.
You kind of starting early. I think because you feel like you got some backup today.
I'm just saying.
So
I bought a
you
Yeah,
little
he
kind of
feels
crossover.
starting early.
fortified. He feels fortified. I can see that right now.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and with yourself, Bam Bam.
Well, let me
That's gonna
tell
be your
you.
name for the rest of the show.
I had an interesting. I got in. I flew back in on Friday. I had to drop Peanut back there. That's right, Peanut. Hey, that's my daughter. She hates that. I you know I just
And the more she hates it, the more
Hi,
you use
Scott.
it.
yeah, so I just dropped her off in Atlanta. We had a very, very good 2 weeks, very productive. Went left and right a little bit, but Rod know how to handle
That's what happens
himself
with the
now.
kids.
You
They
know,
don't always want to hear stuff.
uh, yeah. So I flew back in. The girl made me crazy. I left my high blood pressure medicine, and because she just drove me crazy a little bit. But I
Mm,
got, once I got that under control, I had flew in. I got home. I'm happy to be home. Another 21 days is crazy.
yeah.
So the reason why I got in this early because I got hired to do a function, the Queen Esther 28th annual day celebration. Listen,
Mm,
part of it's the board grand chapter of Empire State. Great affair. I mean, usually when I get hired to do these things, I show up and I show up, I get in big, say make some noise. You know what? It wasn't nothing like that. I mean,
nope. It was
listen,
classy.
listen to this. They had a play, right? They did a play because they wanted you to understand who Queen Esther was. They wanted you to do
Yep.
the
Oh,
research.
nice.
And I mean, this was pretty amazing. And you know what? Shout out to me because I'm a pretty dope DJ. You know what I'm saying? Because I put it all together. You know what I'm saying? I put it all together. They was loving the kid. I'll be back at 3 chapters next year. And I want to thank Maurice King. He's really, really, he's really been keeping me busy, and I appreciate you, brother. But it was great. It was a really great experience. It was long. it was enlightening. It
It
was
sounded
enlightening.
like you learned something from it
Yeah,
Yeah.
too,
yeah, I
right?
learned a little
You
something.
come away with
Yeah,
knowledge.
yeah. It was great. I mean, it was really, really great. We was up Terrace on the Park, the view in New York. Your ride was fly. That's why I had the shades on. I was just feeling so good coming home tonight. You know.
So did you
Nice.
have the shades on while you were DJing?
Oh no, no. Well, you know, I walked in there, you know what I'm saying, maybe 20 security or something like that, you know, but I ain't need all that. You know what I'm saying? So we just had a good time, you know, but it was great though.
Okay.
I mean, it was really a great venue. And it actually helped me elevate my craft.
Nice.
Not too many things I've been challenged with. You know, when you're great,
Mm.
you know, it's hard. So, you know, this was something different,
Whew.
and it was, you know, it was just pretty amazing.
Because you had to rely on the music to tell your story, as opposed to you also being on the mic and being a hype man and getting the crowd going, etc.
Right.
Right.
Is
It
that
wasn't,
is that what happened?
it wasn't about me not being an entertainer. They had their own entertainment. So really it was really relying on my skill on actually putting music together, you know, chopping
just
records
said
up.
that.
You know,
You just said that, I know.
it's great though. It was fat because it was challenging. Like I really felt like, you know, I could pop my collar this time. I don't work out parties and stuff
Go
like
and pop
that
your
no more.
collar.
I had a
Go,
good time, but shout out.
go
Thank
and
you so
pop
much
your
for having
collar.
me, guys.
I'm
Thank you
so
so
glad
much.
you
I
enjoyed
Can you
appreciate it.
let somebody else shout you out? Shout
Nah,
out to
nah.
DJ Big Rock. Okay, there you go.
There's no room for anybody else, boy. He got that thing on lock. He's like, let
I'ma
me
do
shout
it.
me
Okay,
out.
I got this.
I love me so much. I don't need you to say it. I'm a
That's
say
right.
And you know, just one more thing. Coming from the South, right? I've been down there, and it's a lot of challenges that I've been having. Coming home, seeing our people, you know, seeing just us. Overlooking New York. It was just a great event. Like, you know, it was just really, it was great. Like, I'm just grateful. I really am. I'm really feeling
I
grateful.
Awesome.
love that.
Look,
I
can we
love
share?
that.
Can we toast the gratefulness? Because
Yes, I got
really,
this.
I'm really feeling grateful. Like, that's why I had the big cup. I had to go
Well,
get the big
I'm
cup.
not toasting with, well, we can toast with my water bottle. Because I'm detoxing, you know. Gotta clean out the system.
Spring is in the
Beanie,
air.
I got you. You need that skate? I got that too, baby. What you want to do? Let me know. Hit me up. DJ Big Rod Instagram.
Hit up me. I'm his manager.
I know, you know, being that I'm the executive producer of the show, you know, we work it out very well.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I need you and I need my cut. That's what I'm saying. I get a cut of the proceeds. Whatever you make, I get my 10%.
Yeah.
I'm gonna raise it up. But anyway, y'all.
But it was
Well, Big
great.
Rob, what's trending? What's trending this week? What's
This
trending?
was deep. This was deep. So I was laying in the bed one day and I decided to turn on the CNN. You know, some things I do. It was late night. You know, I ain't had nothing to do. Cut the CNN on and I find out the country of Uganda has passed a law to criminalize anybody associating with the LGBT community. So it's just weird. Before I really get into it, I would really love to have y'all perspective on, you know, what's going on here. What's going on, ladies?
Hmm.
Well,
So-
you know, for me, go ahead, Shay. You wanna pop off? Because go ahead.
I wasn't gonna pop off. I'm just so basically, if you are associated with the LGBT community, or you feel that is where you are in your space, if you show up in that country, you might be arrested, or you will be arrested.
Criminal
Without a doubt,
charges.
up to 20 years, or you can be put to death if it's something. I think it said something about aggravated homosexuality or something like that. It said, I don't know what that is.
How you could be aggravated with it.
I didn't hear that part.
If you put some rainbow colors on, you are being aggressive.
Hold on, Shay. I guess somebody's been checking the notes, doing the research.
I've been doing my research, getting
been
data.
doing your research.
Data.
That's the word of the week, getting data. Yes, shout out to the data. But go ahead though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is, in my opinion, you know, that country has a right to decide how it chooses to show up in the world. Like, do I think it's right? No. But if they say not in my house, not in my house.
You have to, I guess you have to abide by the laws of the land, which, I think it sucks because to take away anyone's rights to just be is disgusting in my opinion. I don't like that.
Agreed.
But I want to know the definition of aggravated homosexuality.
I
I'm
most
curious
certainly
to know
do.
Because I know
what
you
it
did your
is.
research.
I got it. So what it is a broad term used in the legislation to describe sex acts committed without consent or under duress. So basically, if you rape somebody
and you're
and
male,
you're gay,
so like
you,
male on male or something to that
and it's
effect.
rape, right?
That's enough. Okay, well, I
You
go
can be
with that.
put to
Rape,
death.
period.
I mean, it's rape,
Should be.
in my opinion. So
Right.
yeah,
That's what
you
it
should be
sounds like.
punished for that, no matter what.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm against any kind of laws that takes away the right of a human being to
Agreed.
just be who they want to be and love who they want to love or how they want to love. I get the whole thing
Benny
about
said
why
he thinks everyone has an LGBT family member.
we all absolutely several.
I think I have family members that flip from the lady pond to the male pond,
Well,
but
yeah,
won't necessarily
but it's still
sit in the space.
LGBTQ
Yes.
no matter
Yes.
what.
And so there you are hiding your family member out, like, don't you go out there.
With all that.
They're going to get you. They're
So
going
it
to
makes
get
me
you.
wonder
I don't
that
want you to die.
So if a girl is, because the ladies, the ones that are considered the aggressive ones, they dress like guys.
You better not.
Right.
You better put a skirt on.
So they would go to jail for that. I'm assuming so.
Right. Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Well, I don't know though. Is that the law? You can't dress like a dude.
So
it doesn't
if you
say.
are a woman and you dress in a suit, and then they come at you and you go, but I like men.
I'm not gay. Right.
I'm not gay. And they go, you look like you're gay.
I think, okay, see.
You going to jail.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's a slippery slope there.
Yeah.
And this is, here we go. And I'm glad we go.
A man who wears a pink shirt, they accost him and corner him.
Right.
What you got that pink shirt on?
There has to be something going on that you can't just be like, you're going to jail.
So I remember when we went over a couple of things, I was saying about how we do things in the Western civilization. And
turn it off. What did I tell you about?
Yeah, that's me. Well, how we do things in the Western civilization, and in the Western part of the world. And what I think what they're really aiming at is the like I said, the celebrations, if you wear a pink shirt or you even if you dress like a man, that's not a reason to identify you as like a homosexual or something like that. But I think what they're really trying to do is take an attack onto Eastern civilization. I mean Western civilization. When, like I said, the parades, like if the first gay basketball player or the first gay mayor, and I think they just want to keep sexuality private. Because that's your choice.
It in your home.
Right. Not in your home, but just keep it private. Like, do you run out in the street and say, oh, I just got it in last night. Me and my just got it in. You understand? Oh, so we need, so I think this is what they were really aiming at. You are who you are. So it is what it is. So I don't believe it's like, oh, if you look like a man or if you look like a woman.
Right.
I don't believe it's that. I just think that the celebration of it all.
Yeah, we were being a little funny about it.
Yeah, I think it's if you engage in sexual acts with the same sex. I think that's what they would be considered.
And I think it's about the public display.
The public display of it.
Like
right.
That is not going to be permissible. And so if that's something that you are, and I think I was saying this to you before, that you can go into Muslim countries and there are behaviors that in public are unacceptable. Right. Now, what happens when you go home, right? Because when I said this to you before, when I went to Dubai, I was
I've been
able to find a liquor store. No. It's not about flossing. It's about that I was able to find a liquor store, right?
Right.
And
you did find one?
Our host, well, we had a host and we had some people we asked, So our host, who was our driver, we had a driver and then we had someone who was, taking us around and giving us a tour. He came with us in the liquor store and he was well in his 30s. And he was saying how he had never been in a liquor store in his entire life, nor had he ever had a drink, and that he's never had one in his family. Right. Now, Is that to say that there aren't Muslims that drink? I'm sure. But I bet you they're doing it behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
And I think that's what Uganda is trying to do.
Yeah,
Is that they're
exactly.
trying to make sure that if that is what you are, that is not something you're going to parade up and down the
Right.
street. You're
Exactly.
going to keep that in your home or suffer the consequences. Now, here's where I have an issue. That mentality actually causes harm to people, physical harm, right? Because here the LGBT community was being attacked for who
Right.
they were, right? Similarly to Black people, and we suffered the same way. Is that is going to give license to other Ugandans when they see things, right? It gives you room to be able to do something about it. And so not the police will be one thing, but the public will be another level of ridicule and possibility of harm to them because of the choices that they make as far as their sexuality is concerned.
Agreed. Agreed. Great point, Shay.
Well, thank you, Michelle, with one L.
I understand it. I understand it, and you're right. You're right.
What?
I mean, because anything that they do,
Whoa,
wow.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, look at this. Can somebody
Sometimes we
rewind?
could just agree to disagree, can't we?
Rewind.
Sometimes we're gonna
Did
just
that
agree to
just
disagree.
happen?
We're gonna leave that right there.
I'm
Okay.
playing that clip all week.
But I just want to ask you one question,
Of
though.
you saying that. Oh,
Just
goodness.
one. So, are you saying that being that on your that you saying that people display their sexuality in private shouldn't be? Because I think, just me personally, I think that no matter what your sexuality is, it's just that that's your life. Everybody doesn't have to be involved in what
Okay.
you're doing. So to me, is yes, if that's what you do with whatever, that's you. I don't think that a lot of the time is, and yes, it was a lot of racism, a lot of discrimination and stuff, but at the same time is like whenever something different appears in any country or any place, yes, it's some kind of discrimination against it. So I'm just saying I just think that if you are who you are, then just be who you are. You don't have to just you don't have to be on public display.
I get what you're saying, but as far as the heterosexual community, we are out here kissing and
Holding
all kinds
hands
of
and
holding
walking and
hands.
skipping down
So
the street.
and I understand because they're saying that it's out of the norm.
But see, I think
That's what they're trying to say, that it shouldn't be done and it should be done. So why then, if that's the case, then everybody should be doing it behind closed doors.
right, but this is what I'm thinking. It's not about the holding the hands and being who you are on a normal basis. It's about the first publicly open gay basketball player. The first gay mayor.
Okay.
But that your sexuality don't have nothing to do with who you are as a person.
Agreed.
So if that's what it is, like that's just like saying, yeah, he has the biggest Johnson and he's the biggest president. No, it just really doesn't make sense.
Hercules.
You understand? Here y'all go. But to me, I believe it's more emphasis on what is going on in somebody's personal sexual life.
Agreed.
If
I
you're
get that.
like they made the big thing about the guy in the Bronx, the councilman, not the councilman, isn't he an assemblyman now or something like that? He's the first openly Hispanic assembly guy in the Bronx. Who cares?
But they do that for black people too. The first black woman or the first black man that has.
But again,
it has a lot to do
racial
with
barriers.
It has a lot to do with oppression, right, and discrimination, and needing to have something that says, "See, we're not doing it anymore." And so there's going to be a point when the novelty of it wears off because it'll be everywhere. Right? And we'll just be like, it's whatever. And when that happens, then no, it won't be mentioned anymore. Just like it won't be mentioned that, Black people are, a certain percentage of the workforce. That's no longer a thing that we talk about. But there was a point when, Black people were being the first at a thing. We were the first at being acknowledged as that first thing, rather. And so in that respect, it was highlighted then. But then it was 10, and then it was 20, then it was 100, then it was thousands. And then it no longer became a thing. So my hope is that we're going to get to a point where that will not be a conversation anymore.
Right.
Because everything will be whatever.
All right, I know we're going to run out of time. I just want to ask one question. So are you saying you comparing homosexuality to a Black race or Hispanic?
Absolutely not.
Are you comparing lifestyle to toward different
your sexuality?
Yeah, are you Are you comparing lifestyle to race? Because the thing is about what's going on with Black people and Hispanic, with brown people of color anyway, is that yes, it's certain things that you should be happy that we're not doing. But anybody can be a homosexual, Black, white, Chinese, whatever the case may have been. That's your personal business, and it needs to be kept personal.
Well, here's the thing.
I just add
go ahead
to that? So I'm not saying that discrimination is discrimination, no matter who it's against. Correct. So it's not about a Black thing or a homosexuality thing. For me, it's a discrimination thing. So if you're discriminating anybody because of what they are, what they look like, who they love, it's discrimination. So I'm not saying that, the Black and the homosexuality thing should be compared. I'm talking about discrimination should not be across the board. So when you say that, then yes, discrimination, yes, it is. I'm talking about anything that's being discriminated against.
Right. And the point that I was making was simply that the fact that it's being highlighted, right, that there are certain people who are homosexuals and they come out. The reason why the media hypes it so much is that we're just getting to this point of accepting people in that space and having the ability to show up authentically. Normally, right, if you were, there's this mentality of you can be that, but you better not say that you are. Otherwise, there are repercussions behind it. And now we're at a point where we feel just like what you were saying, Ra. It shouldn't matter. It doesn't matter. And therefore, if you're qualified to be that thing, you want to be, someone in politics, then it doesn't matter. But hey, here's a perfect example of us saying it doesn't matter. And so they need to highlight it just because, we've turned a corner about it. So that's all.
Shout out to It Doesn't Matter. Shout out to
It doesn't matter.
It just don't matter, goddammit. It just don't matter. It just don't matter. Y'all ain't gonna do that, goddamn. Not this week.
We got you. Yeah, all right, guys. We gotta move on to our next, and y'all know what time it is, right?
Oh, here we go.
Do we know what time it is?
Yo, you can't sing it one time, Anime. Damn, it's a live show.
This is the season finale, so maybe y'all want me to drop it. Y'all want me to drop it?
Drop it one time.
Let me drop it. All right.
Let me do the
Shay, do your thing. Do your thing. Shay, do your thing.
What do I say?
Do you know
what time it is?
Let me ask my cousin.
Yeah, take that. Won't stop. Can't stop. Hey, won't stop. Remix conversation with our cousin.
It's the cousin job. It's the cousin job.
Shout out to the conversations last time.
That's it. I retired that this season, so we won't be back. Cousins, I got a question. But for this question, I'm going to bring our guest on.
Oh.
So we have a guest, guys. We have another male perspective, which, sometimes Rashay feels like he needs a little backup. So we have one, and we're going to bring the brother on. And everybody, welcome Eric to the show.
Yo, before we get into Eric, he has a very, very interesting background, though.
Here we
This
go with
man, this
Okay.
man, no. Honestly,
Oh, okay.
like he became my mentor at almost 40 years old, literally.
You're never
And
too old for a mentor
and
now.
Absolutely not.
the thing that I really love about this man is that he is well rounded educationally,
Mm-hmm.
family wise. I'm not gonna put all his business out there, but he has degrees. Uh, he's been in
Because you don't know all this business.
federal work. He's worked with children. He actually gave me an opportunity to go in and teach kids delinquents on how to DJ.
Ooh.
And
Nice.
that was something I was
Nice.
really interested in. And he's very much into the community. 100 Black Men in Newburgh.
Love it.
3 beautiful children. Lawyer, teacher, pilot. He's
Well,
done
why
it.
isn't he
He's
whipping
done it
you
all.
into shape?
Well, he's done some things. I mean,
I'm saying.
he tamed
I'm
the
saying.
wild. Cat
I
down,
need to
Kato
talk to
down,
Eric
Kato
on the
down.
side, like,
But he's done some things. So let me bring Eric to the show. Thank you, brother.
Hey,
He's already
Rasheed.
Hey, thank you for coming. And okay, so guys, we already at our segment of Let Me Ask My Cuz. So I have a question. I often hear when a question is asked to men that, what is it that you need from a woman or want from a woman? And you often hear a lot of men say, I need for her to be my peace. And I'm interested in knowing, what do you guys think that
Well,
means?
that was a conversation yesterday.
well, then you should have the answer.
Then you should have the answer.
I'm gonna let the guests talk.
Go ahead, Eric. You can go ahead and answer.
Tell
the
me,
question.
Rasheed, what does that mean to you, brother?
He's letting the guests go first.
Well, like I said, no, I don't believe that at all. I need a woman to have my peace. You got to find peace within yourself.
Okay.
You have to find a peace. Now, the trick is you can't have a woman that breaks your peace.
That takes
So
it away. Okay.
that takes the peace away when you're in a relationship. The thing is, with relationships, you need to really find out where you at in life, who you are, and get yourself to a peaceful state of mind. This way, when you're in a relationship, you will understand when somebody's breaking your peace. Fortunately, I do know about that because it took me a long time to find peace within myself.
Right.
So a lot of the times in relationships or dating, when they start to break my peace, anxieties.
All right. So I get that. You don't need a woman to take away your peace. But when you hear fellas say that, I get a whole bunch of different responses to that. I need a woman to be my peace. Like, I really want to know. I've asked that question to men, like, what does that actually mean when you say that?
That's crazy. That's a man that's not in a peaceful state because nobody can bring you peace but yourself.
Or it could, okay, but I'm gonna let Eric answer before I add my 2 cents.
Well, that's
You want to tell them what it is?
No, absolutely not.
You're gonna tell me how to think like a man? What man?
Absolutely not. I'm just gonna offer up my opinion about the subject. That's it.
Well, I think when people, at least when men say they want someone that brings them peace or doesn't take away their peace, they just talking about someone that's going to bring tranquility to their space. See, now, peace, in terms of peace for me, that means help me to be balanced, not to aggravate, not to, be someone who doesn't support my agenda. Now, it's not hard for me to say not to disturb my peace because, first of all, you need to know what brings you peace as an individual.
Agreed.
What is it about me that I'm looking for someone else to come in and help me find that space, that calmness, that, solitude that you're looking for? Now, I found my peace a long, long time ago. I met my wife in April. We got married in August, and it's been 35 years since. Now, peace means balance. You have to give and you have to take. If you're not willing to give and take, you'll never have peace. So a lot of folks, they say they want peace, but they're about drama. Constantly about drama.
So true.
So as far as peace is concerned, you, as Rasheed said, you have to make your own peace. And when someone comes in that wants to constantly disturb that, then you have to separate yourself from that individual.
Okay.
Agreed. So, I mean, I was going to add something like that. He already said it, so I don't have to add my 2 cents. And I mean, I'm not looking for anybody to be my piece.
Right, that's what it is. And
Yeah,
that's what
I'm not
I
looking for
said.
anybody to. I'm just looking for a person
Because
that's going to come
women, that's
in.
not usually something women say.
Women say.
don't
I always
ask
hear
for
men say
men
that.
to be their peace. Because I think we have our girlfriends and we have a peaceful place that we can go to with women that kind of balances out some of the things that we got going on. Like we can always check in with our girlfriends. And I don't know if men necessarily have that same village that we do.
I think the
Yeah.
equivalency for peace for women, I think, is they want to be loved. I want somebody to love me. That's what a woman would say. Oh, I need somebody to love me and make me laugh and respect me.
Yes.
Men say
Agreed.
peace, right?
Because
Women
if
say love.
because if a man is not doing that, then he's
There's problems.
actually disturbing your peace,
Yeah,
right?
they're
So
disturbing your
yeah,
Disturbing your
right.
peace.
I agree. I
Right.
agree.
But like going back to what Eric said, what you said, Shay, about the village, it's the same thing. Like you have to try to keep yourself into a positive being. Like when I moved here where I'm at, if I didn't have Eric and another brother up the street named Raheem, I'd have probably lost my mind. You understand what I'm saying? Because at some point where when I tell you this man talked me down, like it was going down, and he sat in the car and
It's gonna
said,
be on the
"Yo,
news.
he was going down." And he sat in the car and he told me to evaluate. Look at what you got.
Mm,
Look at what
Right.
you're doing, and understand. I know it hurts, but listen. Look at where you at. You
mhm.
got here. A lot of y'all don't even get here, and you want to give that up. A lot of people don't surround themselves around that. And being
Right.
that I moved from the city to a suburban area, it was a good thing that I found a brother like that. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? Because
Yeah,
you're like,
men need
"Hey,
that.
news
They
at
do.
11, black man loses mind. But
And that's amazing that you have that because a lot of
Right.
men don't have
That's
a
exactly
man
what I
that's
was
going
the
to
gonna
come
thing
in his
is,
say.
life and talk him off the ledge.
you have to learn to accept that person in your life or understand where that person is. And that's why I say us as African Americans, we have to understand, you have to reach out. You have to really, really broaden your mind, and have conversations with people. We don't do that because if I didn't have a conversation with them, this would have never had happened.
You know what though? In part of at least I don't really know. I'm not a man, so I don't want to take it from that point.
Yes,
But
thank you, please.
there comes a point when you feel like it takes some vulnerability, right? And men, I feel like, have a harder time being vulnerable with other men because they don't want to appear weak, right? Where I can go to Michelle and I can tell her that I'm absolutely broken. And we can have that conversation and we could spend the night with me in complete tears
Right.
and get up the next day and she would hold me up and it would never be a thing that I was broken to the world, right? And it would be a fortification on her part. But with men, sometimes it's like there's a competitiveness, there's this feeling of weakness that men don't want to display. And they feel like sharing that emotion feels
Right.
like they're sharing that they're weak or they're broken and therefore vulnerable.
Sometimes it's just a matter of trust. You don't want to confide in someone that may go out and dispose or expose what you shared with them, because, like you said, it's a sense of weakness. When you go to someone, you're trying to help them. You say, "Listen, man, look, what you're doing is going to bring you this harm or that harm. That's not what you're trying to do. You want peace." How do you explain that to the person that you're with? That all I want is peace. I don't want to go out and work 12 hours and come home and then you tell me, "Oh, well, you're never here." Well, I can't be there all
Let's
the time
talk about
because
it.
I have to provide. I have to work. Now you're saying, "Well, I feel alone. I'm lonely. You never pay any attention to me. We never talk." Well, by the time I get home, it's 12 o'clock and you're in bed.
Preach.
And the day starts again the following day.
Wow.
Mhm.
There are mitigations that we can take to try to exclude those type of debates, but sometimes we don't get to that. We get to fighting, and then once we start fighting, someone's going to say it's over.
Yeah, that's when you got to hit him with the Bobby Womack. If you think you're lonely,
Oh yeah.
wait until. Girl, stop playing with me. I'm working all day so I can bring money in this house.
That's
And
right.
here you are beefing about what? Hold
Yeah.
me.
I
Come on,
I
stop.
think that brings us actually to our topic. That's a great segue into
Well,
But
our
see, look,
before we
I
topic.
told you it was
segue,
gonna come
there was a
natural.
question asked of us. I think we should address it.
Mhm.
Okay,
It
where was
says,
the question asked?
woman asks for men to lead. No. What does it say? Where is it? So he would ask the women, what does it mean when they say they want a man to lead?
Ah,
Mm.
Well,
okay.
that's a tough question.
Uh,
You want
um,
if you want a man to lead, you first have to be willing to follow.
Thank you.
And
well, I agree.
if you're not willing to follow, then you're not accepting his
On
leadership,
Males Road, exactly.
Well, for
Mhm.
right?
me, in order for a man to lead, he has to be able to have something to lead with, and I need to be able to trust him enough to lead. So
Right.
if I can't trust you enough to, and if you haven't shown me that I can trust you enough to lead, I'm probably not gonna be with you. But I think leadership in a relationship, um, for from a man's perspective, I feel like there are times when a woman can lead something in the relationship as well. Doesn't necessarily mean before y'all get all crazy because I'm seeing the
I see.
faces, because leadership, when you think of the word lead, you think of the man's here and the woman's behind him and she's following him. That's what the perception is of
Can
the
I just
word
ask
lead.
one
Hold
question?
on, let me
No.
finish.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me finish. And then, but then, what about being side by side? Although I am hearing what you're saying and I'm following what you're saying and I'm taking all of your great advice because that's what it should be, I might have it as well.
I have never said that I want a man to lead.
Yeah, I don't really say that either.
I
There we
don't.
go. Now
I
we
don't really
getting
say that
there.
either, but I'm saying
Yeah, I don't say
I want
that
women
because
most. Oh, go ahead, Shay. I'm sorry.
right. For me, I think that I just have always come from this alpha state of mind with the women in my life that I've seen. And so it has taken me a very long time, and I promise you I'm still working on it, to not be in a headspace where I want to control the narrative in a lot of ways because I don't have a lot of confidence that somebody else has the ability to take me where I want to go.
All
And
right.
so I'm perfectly capable. And why would I allow another human being to say that this is the way?
I
But
agree.
that's from your own personal
But
Correct.
issues and maybe traumas that you may have to have had to deal with that has you in that state of mind. But
right.
I don't see anything
I
wrong
don't
with
think it
allowing.
But
was trauma. I'm
Well,
but
maybe
sorry.
not
I didn't
trauma,
say
but
it was trauma.
okay. Right.
okay,
But so one word. Michelle, do you believe in submit?
I do.
Okay.
I do
Shay, you
too.
believe in submit? Okay. So here's the thing, because and I'm glad y'all brought this is a good question because what we talked about in the production meeting was the 50-50 thing. A man can't lead if it's a 50-50 situation.
I don't agree with
I
that.
don't think that we
You,
came to the same consensus about what we
no,
perceive.
we didn't come to it,
I'm
but
sorry. Let me just
we
finish
go
what I
ahead,
was going to
go
say.
ahead.
Michelle and I did not have the same perception of what 50-50 was compared to what you thought it was. And the way that you described 50-50, I agree. That is
Okay,
not a situation
all
that
right,
Right.
a man could lead in. So,
all right, okay.
and now we need to explain it to our guest Eric because we were talking about finances in a relationship, and one of the things we were talking about is how there are some couples that structure their relationship where they both come into the relationship equally financially. And so even if the man or woman, one of the people in a relationship is making $300,000 and the other person is making $100,000, they both figure out a percentage, like a 50% of what they're making, and they put it into a family fund, and they
Right.
use that to
Pay the
you know,
bills.
take care of their bills and savings and vacations or whatever the case might be. And in that respect, right, you're coming to the table equally in the relationship financially. And for Rashe, his thing was that in that space, a man can't lead, and I don't agree. I don't think
either.
that that's
Well, I don't know
perception.
that. I don't know that you have to come into the relationship with parity in terms of income in order for someone to be designated as the leader.
I
All right?
totally agree,
Correct.
100%.
In my relationship, my wife has always made more money than me. She has always made more money than me. That's not an issue for me.
Right.
My issue is trust and respect in our roles.
Okay.
When my wife and I are out in the street and something happened, I expect her to look to me for leadership.
Absolutely.
Now, if she's not going to look to me for leadership, then that says something about me as an individual.
Right.
Maybe she doesn't trust me. Maybe she doesn't respect me.
Mm-hmm.
See, when people start talking about 50-50 relationships, those relationships can never work.
Okay.
They can never work, because as soon as it goes out of balance, the person who's higher wants to get out.
Mm-hmm.
You have to come into the relationship with an understanding that, hey, we decided to come together as one. And however we structure that oneness is up to us.
Absolutely.
Right.
You
100%.
said before, well, you get married and you have a family account. And if your wife's working and you're working, we're going to put a family money in that family account.
Right.
The rest of the money is still family money.
Okay.
But it's going into 2 other accounts. Do I trust you as my wife to have a separate account? There has to be a modicum of trust in order for you to talk about leadership.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Right? Leadership is not just I'm telling you what to do and you're going to walk behind me and all of that nonsense. That's pure nonsense.
Right, exactly.
Right.
That's for
I agree
people
with
who
that.
have never been in a long-term relationship.
Exactly.
And I think that's why a lot of relationships are failing today, because when they say 50-50, they literally means 50-50.
I don't think
And
that
see-
that's
I don't
the way
know
it
if it's
should be
50,
either.
And this is
Can I just add something to this? Because
Right.
oftentimes when you think of when people say this, put this whole thing of a man should lead, they usually go to finances.
Right.
And it's more than just that. It's not about the money. Because
okay, but
just
it's
because, wait, let me finish.
good.
It's not about the money, because you can be paying all the bills in the household and still not be a leader.
You're right, but it starts with what's going on in the household. And unfortunately, it starts with putting a roof over your head, and that's what I was trying to explain to you. I don't care what is going on or who makes whatever amount of money. This is something that I feel like that's a man's responsibility. I don't care what a woman makes at that point. But if you can't, a man first needs to take care of himself and put a roof over his own head. So for him to accept a wife, he's supposed to be able to have that already. You understand what I'm saying? So at the same time is that now I take you on as my wife, then yeah, I feel like if a man can't pay the bills like that, then it's going to be a respect issue there, because that's what you're supposed to do. As you're supposed to be able to do that anyway as a man. That's all I was trying to tell you guys. So no,
we understood everything you were trying to tell us.
Right. So
we got it, but we didn't agree.
Right. Right. You can't make us say
you
you're
can't
right.
make us agree.
No, I'm not asking. No,
but let me add to that. As far as even if the man can come in and pay all the bills, does he have to if he has a lady next to him? Because if they're both coming into the same relationship,
that's a question that
they have to work out and within their relationship.
It should not apply to single people.
Okay.
It should not apply to single people, because if you're single and you're making your own money, more than likely you have your own place.
Absolutely. Well, we
That
always
means-
are single before we get into a
Right.
relationship.
And that means you're paying your own bills.
Right.
Now you meet someone and you come into a relationship and you're working, you have been working, and the other
Agreed.
person is working. You come in and you take care of the commitment jointly. You see, what happens is people say they want
Agreed.
50-50 relationships, but they don't want 50-50 responsibility.
Responsibility.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
That's
a
true.
problem.
That's
a
true.
problem.
That's what there's a lot of
Mhm.
breakdown with the relationships because of that thought process.
I've
honestly.
seen relationships where the lady made a lot more money than the man. They were both working, a good man, balanced in every other way, loved her, respected her, protected her, but she was an alpha, whatever that means. She was an alpha.
Yeah, I hate that term. I really hate that term.
She made money, and she felt that put her in the leadership position. Now, once you're in the leadership position from that paradigm, you get to be a dictator, so to speak. It's
Mhm.
your way
Mhm.
or the freeway because you control most of the means.
Right.
That
Agreed.
can never work in a
It
long-term
can never work.
sustainable relationship.
Yeah, but
And I
finances
also
is
feel
not
like with-
always the thing that makes a woman feel like they control the situation. A man could be paying all the bills and she could still feel like she's running the household.
Right.
And
But
she should
they
be
do
able to
that.
run the household.
But she
That's-
should be.
She
That-
should
that-
be able
that-
to.
And the man.
If you're a man and a provider, sorry to cut you off. If
That's
you're a
fine.
man and a provider, right? Your job is to protect and provide.
Provide. Yes.
You're gonna go
Yes,
out,
I agree.
make whatever
100%.
money you're gonna make, and bring it home for the family. I'm going to protect you. When the door knocks at 2:00 in the morning, it's my responsibility to get up and go see what the hell is going on out there. I'm not going to roll over and say to you, hey, this is a 50-50 relationship. It's your turn.
It's your turn. All right.
It's your turn to go out there and see.
I got to do it the last time.
I got
Right,
to do it
I got to
the
do
last
it the last time, so now it's your turn to go out there. That's why 50-50 relationship is nonsense.
Right.
Total nonsense.
In that respect, I get what you're saying. Yes.
You
I
know,
totally
so-
get what you're saying.
Look, women runs the households anyway.
Anyway, exactly.
They run the household. You don't have to, just like you don't have to tell your wife, I'm the leader. She doesn't have to
absolutely
tell
right.
you, I'm running this show. Because
Because they do.
They run the show.
Here come
They
Katrina.
teach your children. They hold your home down. They take care of all of the medicinal issues that comes up. They're the nurse, the doctor, the teacher. The
Mhm.
problem is everyone wants to be, quote unquote, the boss.
The
Mm.
boss.
And that's bringing that, head button that
They're
we
clashing.
really don't need in relationships.
Clashing. Yeah.
Yeah, it took me
I
a
agree
long
with
time
that.
to not want to be the boss.
Mm.
Because there's certain things in a relationship I just don't
I just
wanna
had no
have
trust.
to do. And that
Yeah.
I don't want to have to do certain things like
Right.
getting up at 2:00 in the morning to go see who's at the door.
Yeah, right.
Because no, I'm not. What do you mean it's my
But
turn?
see,
No, absolutely not.
But see, like what Shay said was it goes back to our upbringing, right? So
Well, yeah, because I
Yeah, yeah.
unfortunately
yeah,
we didn't
unfortunately,
have a lot of
and-
male
and-
models in my family,
and
and
right.
so the women really
Right.
took
Took
care of everything.
everything.
Like, my grandmother hustled and made sure the bills was paid. Like, she took care, and that was the problem, is that they took care of everything. And so when I became an adult, it was like, I'm just gonna make it happen. I don't, what am I
And then there's
relying
the
on you
trust
for?
factor, because my thing is if I can't trust you enough to relinquish that to you, then
Right.
there's a problem.
But see,
Right.
that's why I was saying it's a problem in a lot of relationships.
It
So
is.
it's even when we go back to like gender roles and all these other things, it's like at some point is yes, we all have a certain role. You understand to
Mhm.
play. And sometimes ladies, I'm a little hard on y'all. You know what I'm saying? My mentor's on the show right now, so I'm a little
We're
hard on
scared of
y'all.
you. We are
You
not
know
scared
what I'm
of you.
saying? But what I'm saying is that, but there's still roles that we need to play in a relationship. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes we all forget those roles, and that's what a lot of the issues are.
Can I say that from an observation, I think that women, in particular Black women, have been thrusted into a leadership role by fiat. They didn't
Yes.
want it. It was just thrusted upon them.
Exactly.
If you're a
Agreed.
single mom and you have to take care of your child, you're going to do everything in your power to make that happen. And if you're doing it for an extended period of time, and then all of a sudden someone else comes into the union, you're unable or sometimes unwilling to relinquish some of the responsibilities
It's a little
of being
difficult.
in the household. It is difficult. I have 7 sisters,
So you
7.
understand.
Right? And only 2 of them are married. Now the other 5 consider themselves alpha females. The problem with
they are
that is,
taking care of everything from soup to nuts.
right. The problem
Right.
with that
And
is
if that's what you're doing, then what is
but you have to be willing to relinquish that role at some point if you're going to be in a meaningful,
I agree.
long-term relationship.
Agreed.
with
And if you're
someone
gonna
that
say,
makes
well,
you feel safe?
So
Right.
many of our sisters get to the point where they say, you know what? I don't need no man. I don't need a man.
Yeah,
I
they
ain't
do that a lot.
particularly-
I ain't saying that.
I ain't saying
Particularly
that.
if someone
I ain't saying that.
if someone comes into the relationship with that strong-headed attitude that I'm the boss, and she's been the boss all along, now you're headbutt. Why continue to headbutt? He's disturbing your peace. So what are you going to tell him? Listen, you got to go. I'd rather be alone. That's the answer. I'd rather be alone than to be with you disturbing my peace.
And Michelle, we just had a conversation very similar to that, and we were just talking about how the older we get, the less tolerable we are in making adjustments in our space. Because why? What are you bringing of value? Right? If I can take care of everything, what value except that you're gonna get up at 2 a.m, but I'm about to get me a gun license.
And you want to handle that. So now
you want to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and see who's at the door.
Hold on. So you're going to put this big 280 dude by the side. Yeah, so fall back. I got this. Because I got this new license. So
yeah, that's right, Katrina.
And
I don't know many that don't, but some say that though. That I've heard women say, "I don't need no man. I can do this by myself."
I think they say that when they're young and they're ignorant and they're just angry
and sick of the BS, like you said.
Anger.
Lachey, that's the key. That's the key right there.
Yeah.
Now, you have these so-called alpha males on the internet talking all kinds of nonsense, right? About hitting the wall and all of that.
Oh.
There's a point where we could say we don't need anybody, both males and females.
Exactly.
You're going to get
saying that.
You're going to get to a point in your life, maybe it's 55, maybe it's 60, when you realize no matter how much money you made, right? What kind of car you drive, what kind of watch you're wearing, when you roll over and there's nothing next to you, that's a problem.
Yep.
Better say it.
More than likely, your children are grown and gone.
There it is.
Right?
I think people have to figure out what works for them. And I mean, you have to set boundaries, of course. Yes. You don't just accept any and everything.
Of course.
You have to set and whatever works within your relationship, whether that be the man wants to come in. Now, if a man wants to come in and take care of the bills because that's what he chooses, then that's on him. It's not a requirement for me that he does that. Either. And as for a lot of women, it's not. And that's perfectly fine.
The question is the man capable of doing that?
But
is he capable?
Does he have the finances? If he has the finances and he wants to do it and you're willing to relent, then fine. That can work for your relationship.
But, okay.
Agreed.
It's two things because I'm confused because Shay said she had a conversation with Michelle about, well, if I'm doing this, then doing that, I buy my own gun. Then yada yada yada.
That. That's not what
I think she was joking, Rob.
Right.
No, you gotta take that because
that's not what I said. I was talking about me and Michelle having a conversation about the older we get, the harder it is to allow someone in your space to make the adjustment for other people. That's what I was. That was my real point. Everything after that was.
But that is the case for men too. Like I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that I just think that when you accept, my problem is I just believe that today's women accept less of a role that a man needs to play as a man in a relationship. And it's really, to me, is a lot of our brothers are lacking, and that's the conversation that we
Okay.
had
Now
before.
that I can
So
totally understand what you're saying.
that's the thing. Like for instance, you know me. If I got 2 dimes, I'm running. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to think about it, and that's not even because of any woman. I just think that some men say, "Oh, babe, got it." You understand what I'm saying? So now
Yes,
a lot of our men aren't trying to apply themselves
I get that
because
too.
I absolutely agree.
right. So when we go back to it and we look at as women building wealth, women building home ownership equities and stuff like this, is because of the men that you are accepting and allowing into your life because again of the alpha female. You
Mm.
I don't
understand what I'm
know if
saying?
that's an
I don't know if
alpha
that's
thing. I don't know
why.
if that's an alpha thing though.
Yeah,
I,
That
right.
doesn't necessarily mean you're trying to control the relationship because you accept
Hey,
that.
Katrina.
I don't know if
I,
that's an
Katrina
alpha thing,
Hernandez.
I
but
don't know.
I
I
do.
don't know
Okay,
what
I'm
an
sorry.
alpha
Go ahead.
female. I don't know what an alpha
Yeah,
female
that
is.
I don't like that saying either.
I don't know what an alpha female is no more than I know what an alpha male is.
right.
There you go.
That's
Right
the term.
Right.
now,
It doesn't really
I
hold
think
much.
I think that I have the leadership qualities that my wife likes. Right? She may consider me to be an alpha male, right? Because I handle business, but I
You
don't go
better talk
around.
that
You
talk.
better talk that.
I don't go around talking about, oh,
When
I'm
we
an
go off
alpha
air,
male.
I'm gonna give you the backstory.
I'm an alpha male. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. You know, if you're going to come in talking all of that smack, the woman's going to look to you to put up or shut
Shut
up.
up.
And the
There
moment
you
you're not
go.
able to put up, then you become a simp. You're going to be treated
Mm.
like one.
Yeah, because if
Exactly.
you're a passive man and you're just sitting back, just saying, "What's next, babe?"
hmm
then the woman is looking at you like, "Well, damn,
But I
can't
don't
you
think
make
a
a
man.
decision?"
But no, I don't think a man minds saying what's next, babe. If she's
There's some
qualified.
men that
If
okay
no,
with
but
that.
if she's qualified and
No, no, that's not
she
my
can play
point.
that
My
role.
point is if that's the constant in your relationship and you are not stepping up to make any decisions and you're looking for her to make them all,
Oh,
that is a problem.
Right.
but that's what
You
I
Agreed.
think
can't
the
make a
50
decision
50
on
man
your
is.
own before you look at her and figure out what it is that you should be doing or should be saying. Then that's the man that you're talking about, Rob.
Right.
Right, but that's what my thing is what I'm saying is that's the 50-50 man. That's what I feel.
That ain't even a 50-50
That
man
ain't
because he
50, he's
can't even show up
10%.
50-50.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he
He
gonna have a
can't even
little.
show up. That's not
He,
50-50
no,
because
What
he
is he
can't even
doing in
show
this?
up.
he gonna be able to buy some toilet paper or something. But
That
he's
still
That's
gonna
ain't
not
be able
50.
50-50.
But
That's
what I'm
not
trying,
50-50,
but what
That's
I'm
man.
not
trying to say,
50-50.
That's
what
a
I'm
man. That's a man who has bought into the notion of happy wife, happy life. Right?
Right.
Whatever
Okay.
she wants, I'm going to say yes. Unfortunately, for some women, they'll say, "Oh, well, wait a minute, that's weak. You're letting me run all over you." You understand? I
right.
want you
There
to
we
make
go.
manly decisions
Yes.
Yes.
and consult me.
Show
Consult
up
me so I would
I
feel
so
as though
agree.
we made the decisions together.
Right. I agree.
Right.
It's
I agree.
frustrating if I say what do you want, A or B, and you go whatever you decide.
Yeah, well.
Right? Like you
Yeah.
have to have an
No, but
opinion. And it
sometimes you
can't be
gotta
whatever
no,
I decide.
Well, this is
sometimes
a
you gotta
question.
do
You got
that.
what about when you are trying to make decisions and she never does anything that you tell her for her benefit?
That's well,
Ooh.
obviously this person doesn't want to be quote unquote led or doesn't respect or value your opinion,
Right.
your input. If I'm telling you something that I think is best for you and in essence best for us, and you're not willing to accept it, that's not a relationship that I want to be in.
Agreed.
Yep.
And that comes with a lot of other things because if a woman is not valuing your opinion, that means that maybe you're not showing up in other areas of the
Right.
relationship
No,
for
no,
her
no.
to value the opinion. No, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But see, I think that it has a lot to do with you just not willing to accept it. Or some women's not used to don't want to accept guidance. You understand what I'm saying?
I mean,
And
I
that's
think any woman can be guided if
Because you can
she
take guidance from a woman, even.
from
no, you
anybody.
can. You can. Like for instance, I remember I had wrote a paper in school, and my girlfriend came to
Well, look
school
at you
with me.
writing papers.
No,
in
no, no,
school.
real talk. This is real talk. And they asked her. It was like bring your girlfriend in or something, whatever it was. And she said in the class, she said, "I don't listen, but bottom line, I know he always has my best interest."
Okay.
So she already identified what I want to do, what I want to do, but I do understand that he has my best interest, and that's why I say a lot of the times women won't accept guidance. They just want to do what they want to do, and it goes back to, I believe, what Shay said before. Looking at over the years, do you want to put a change? This worked for everybody that I've seen in front of me. So now, do I want to turn around and say, do I want to handle it this way? Even
So
though
for
you
the
know it might be
men,
in
so
your
let me
best
ask a
interest.
question to the men. If that was your situation, if you're constantly telling a woman or giving her your opinion, or you're trying to lead her, she doesn't want to lead, what do you do?
Oh, y'all know that already.
Want to be led? I'm saying, or she doesn't want to be
You
led.
know that too, right? E?
Right.
Well,
So I'm saying, if you're
listen.
constantly telling your woman, giving her your opinion, say, hey, maybe will benefit you, and she never takes your advice, as a man, what are you going to do?
The problem I would have with that is if I'm giving you advice and you're not willing to accept it, and the outcome of the behavior
Gonna
Mm.
benefit
as a
us.
result of you not listening to me is negative,
Okay.
then you're only going to get a couple of chances
Right.
to do that.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Right? You're only going to
Right.
get a couple of chances to do that. Now, certainly, sometimes your partner, your mate, whatever you want to call it, the person you're dealing with, don't trust that what you're telling them is for their best interest. But
Exactly.
they're not willing to say it to your face. Listen, I don't think that what you're saying to me is really for my best interest. It may have to do with you. I give you an example. Sierra and that little dress that she wore to the
Wow,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
funny.
Oh,
Okay.
you done started
now-
the problem.
Okay.
Now,
Let's go.
my wife is a conservative person. She would never dress
Okay.
like that to leave the house,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if she dared to dress like that, and I said to her, listen, babe, I'm not going out of the house with you dressed like that. I think she respects me enough
Okay.
to say, you know what? I'm going to change the dress
Right.
Okay.
because I respect your and value your opinion. When you're
Right.
not willing, and now if she went out wearing the dress that I told her not to wear, obviously I wouldn't be with her because I already gave you my opinion on it, that it
Right.
wasn't appropriate. Now,
Right.
if she went out and someone groped her or were looking at her in an inappropriate way, somehow, some way, she's going to turn and expect me to do a Will Smith. Protect her honor.
Oh,
Keep my
talk
wife.
about it.
Right.
Talk
Protect
about
her, protect her honor.
And I totally can totally.
Or
agree
someone
with
may
you
say
100%.
something inappropriate to her and call her out of her name. And as a man,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not supposed to tolerate that kind of nonsense. So you
Okay.
just
Except
you
that
just
she set it up that
Exactly.
way and it happened, and therefore now
Even-
you
right.
gotta
exactly you
take
exposed
care of
me
right.
to harm, and in essence exposed the family to harm. Because
Right.
if I defend your honor, I'm going to jail over something that we already discussed
Understood.
that was inappropriate.
Right. So,
That-
you know, that's the thing is the saying, if I'm putting on something and my man is like, babe, you know, that's kind of like a little whatever. Can you put on something? I would consider his feelings. I'm not just gonna be like, I'm gonna wear what I want to wear, and I don't care if you like it. I'm going. Then we don't have harmony in our relationship.
True,
at that
and
point.
it should be the same. It should be the same the other way around.
But so how about
If we're
this?
going out and I decide because I have a beautiful chest, I'm just going to wear a vest and show my chest and my arms, and my wife said, "Babe, I don't think that's appropriate. I think you ought to, put a long sleeve shirt on underneath your vest, and
right.
in order to keep what we call the peace, then you
Right.
have to give in, right? You have to
Right.
give in if you're going to keep the peace in your home and have your relationship harmonious.
Right.
Right. But it seems
women
to me that
never-
Russell
Yeah.
didn't have
Women
a
never
problem.
forget. We know that, right?
Yo,
Women
but
never
yo,
forget.
let me
They're
tell
gonna
you,
remind you next time you tell them to not wear that dress. They're gonna say, "You remember when I asked you not to wear that vest?"
Yo,
And you
hold
put it
You
on.
on.
was out
Wait,
there
y'all,
with your
wait a
check
minute.
out.
Here go a backdrop to that. It might be a little true for each story. This guy's built like a Ken doll.
Okay.
Okay. So she
He
might
said
be
it might
saying,
a
hey, man, listen.
little- So he might have got that. But here go one. What do you think if what if is he didn't have a problem with Sierra wearing it?
Because I don't think he did.
Because I don't think
Well,
he did.
it's his family. It's his family,
Right.
and when they left the house, obviously he somehow agreed with the manner in which she was dressed.
Mhm.
Right.
What comes along with that is all of the critique that followed.
Yeah. It did because he's
Others,
a
the
wimp, he's a
outside
simp.
noises,
Mhm.
are going to look at you and say, "Listen, man, if that was my wife, she would have never
Exactly.
been able to do that."
I'd
Right?
have
And you
said
have
that.
to be able to accept
Agreed.
that critique,
Agreed.
whether you believe them or not.
And
That's
I
the
want
only
to
issue I
answer
have with it.
Jerome's question about women having do women think that they have an obligation to protect? And if they do, what does that look like? We absolutely have an obligation to protect our men.
They
Oh
have,
that
yeah,
means
y'all
that-
do. Y'all say the wrong
they
shit
have
at
an
the wrong
obligation
time.
to protect their
Not
children.
all women.
You don't think we
Women-
have an obligation to protect our men?
Women have an obligation to protect the children. Now, if you're
Okay.
out and someone's choking me out, and you don't take off your heels and hit them in the head, you don't trust me, you don't love me, you don't respect me. So in
Right.
that regard,
Yes.
yes.
But
But
this
I
is
have
how I look at protection. I look at protection as not putting my man in harm's way.
Correct.
Yes.
So I wouldn't do anything that's going to cause harm to him by something that I'm doing. So
Yes.
to me, I am protecting him in the sense that, okay, let me not say this or do this because the repercussions from that could potentially put my man in a situation, especially if he's trying to
Correct.
protect my honor.
Exactly.
So yes.
Agreed, 100%.
And I have been in situations where I've been out and another man has done something disrespectful,
Mhm.
and instead of turning around and being like, "What are you gonna do about it?"
Like
Right.
I
Jada
was
did.
like, "We need to leave."
Like
Right.
Jada did.
And to
Well, I don't
protect
think that's what Jada did,
Jada
but we're
didn't
not
do
going
that.
there.
protection.
We're not
Protection.
gonna
That's
go
what that
there.
look
For
was.
me,
We're not
I
going
don't
there.
care. For me,
We're not talking about
it was
that.
more about the fact that I knew that if I said that this thing happened,
Mhm.
then it was going to be a thing.
A situation, right?
And in order to avoid that situation, it was like, let's leave.
Yes.
And then it was
And
like,
Michelle,
well, what happened? No, we're leaving.
yeah. Michelle
Right.
said it just a moment ago. Sometimes just the actions that you take is in essence protection,
Correct.
unspoken protection. Now,
Right.
if we're in an environment where you're by yourself and someone comes over and starts whispering in your ears and all of this stuff, and you don't turn around and say, "Listen, I'm a married woman or I'm with someone.
Right.
Please leave me alone." You're not protecting yourself or your relationship because
Right.
the man is going to come over and he's going to ask,
Mhm.
"Why are you whispering in my woman's ear?" And the
Right.
guy is going to say, "Well, she didn't say to stop."
Because she fine.
Then the argument continues when you get home.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes,
Yes,
it
the
does.
woman definitely needs to try to avoid the situation
Avoid
if
it.
she can.
Yeah.
Or, if a dude walks up to me and whether my dude is there or not,
Right.
and he's whispering in my ear, I'm gonna remove myself from the situation.
Right.
That's right. You have to.
Because
So,
these
'cause
things escalate. They can become
They
so
do.
toxic. I mean, you
They
just
can.
never know what it can turn into. So
Agreed.
I want peace in every
So
way,
now,
right? When I
we
go
can't-
out,
we-
I don't
we
want no
can't-
problems.
We kind of drifted away from the initial question.
I was just getting ready to
Right?
say that.
I'm still waiting.
That's what we do.
I want the ladies to tell me whether or not they think that the woman should continue to pay her bills while there's a man in the house. What's your opinion on it?
If we're living in the same household,
Yes,
then
It's our bills.
financially, right, it's our bills.
our bills.
Whatever
Okay.
that
No
looks like for us,
Right.
like
Right.
this, I don't think I could live in a household with a partner and take on all of the finances unless he is unable to work.
Right.
Right.
Temporarily.
Right.
And you need to be
Right.
minded.
Oh,
You need to
That's
be in a
right.
space where you are trying to figure it out, right?
Right.
And then, I absolutely could hold us down. Like I'm willing to
Right.
do that in the space, but we should be coming to the table and deciding how it looks like for us to both be showing up in the relationship financially, mentally,
Right.
emotionally, however that
All of
support
that.
looks
Right.
like,
but
Right.
and then you do your part. And so maybe because if I'm making more money than he is, then maybe I'm paying the rent and he's paying the Con Edison, the cable, and whatever the case, or the reverse. But in some way, we would have to come together and decide what that looks like.
Mhm.
Is that and is that a relationship that's not balanced? If the way you just put it, I'll pay the rent and he pays the Con Ed and the
I
cable
think
I
bill.
think it has
No,
to do
look,
with what you think is balanced to you.
right.
Yeah,
Balancing
okay.
a relationship. Balancing a
Agreed.
relationship is defined by the two individuals
Agreed.
as to
Agreed.
what they think is balanced.
Okay.
If you're bringing more
Look.
finances to the table and you are willing to pay proportional the bills,
Right.
Mhm.
then that's
don't-
fine. Because there may come a point
Okay.
where you're unable to pay the bills, and then that person has to step up
Right.
and meet the obligation of the household.
Agreed. But for me,
Right.
if I'm with a man that couldn't even step up if I couldn't work, then
Right. That's a problem.
that's a big problem.
I'm
That's a
totally. Me personally, I disagree. I think.
We know you do,
We know,
Rasha.
we
You
know.
told us
You know.
Well,
every
everybody said their
show.
piece. Can I say my piece,
But
guys?
you
Yes,
tell
you
us
can.
every show, but you go
But-
right ahead.
But I totally disagree because to me is I'm not looking for a woman not to do anything. I would never say that. But to me, to operate the way I need to operate, I can't operate on babe got it. Now, yeah, you should put some money somewhere. You understand what I'm saying? But my thing is that as for me to operate, I can't operate on babe got it. So to me, like I said, if it's a cable bill, it's a phone bill, whatever, leave that there. It's gonna be taken care of anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that might be my hangout money. That might be my shoe money. Thank you. But whatever the thing is that I need to know that my lights is on, my mortgage is paid. You understand? I could get to work. I could do what I need to do. I can't rely on, and I just think in the interim, I think men do this anyway, not realizing that they do it. If they give the wife the money and you watch the bills go, whatever the case may have been, it's just that for me to function, I don't need to worry about if this is done when I get home. As far as the food, the grocery, all that other stuff, I don't care about none of that. But I need to know
Okay.
that Mami Casa is good. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
then-
perfectly fine.
And it's another flip side of that is I don't want to have these discussions with my woman. I want to do other things. I want to have sex. I want to have good nights. I don't want to do none of that. To be
You
honest,
don't want
with
to talk about
I don't
finances
want to
at
talk
all.
about finances. None of that. Deal with your finances. Oh, my American Express bill is $3,000. Why? Because you spent $3,000. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
It's
You
still a
understand what I'm
household
saying?
bill, though. It's a household bill.
No, hell no, it's not. Not when you
I
go
don't feel
buy
like
food
bills should be
and
separate
shit like that.
in a
No,
relationship if you're in the
you
same
can't,
household.
but Michelle, you can't because if you decide to go spend something on yourself because you like it, I like stuff. You know me, I'll get big
Okay.
TVs, all kind of stuff. I don't want to turn around and say that ain't got nothing to do with what she got going. If she come in here and see a lawnmower, that's what I wanted.
That's
don't affect-
perfectly fine.
Right,
I'm not-
but that's
I
not nothing that we should need to discuss. To me, that's just like a person.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think
Yeah,
that
right.
big purchases should be discussed in the household. I don't, but my thing is, I also feel
See, that's
like
that
if you want to
50-50
go
man
out,
you talking
no, it's
about.
not a 50-50 man.
All right,
It's not even a 50-50 situation.
baby, I bought some shoes.
But-
Do you mind?
No, I'm not saying you have to ask for
No,
permission to do anything.
I
But
think
you're
that
the way. Well, let me finish. The way he's talking about is like his money is his and hers is hers, and I'm gonna pay the bills, and you whatever you got going on, you take care of that.
I don't think that you should. I don't think a healthy, if you're going to have a financial conversation, you can have it and set up the structure and then it flows, right? You can decide that you have an account at a bank and this is the account that we use to pay the bills and that's our bill money. And you can have a savings account and you can have a vacation account, right? And all of these things are set up and they're healthy. And then if you want to go out and you want to use your, whatever's on the side in your pocket from your bills and you want to buy something, it doesn't necessarily have to be a conversation if it's not compromising those accounts.
Right.
No,
And in
I
that
agree.
way, you buy whatever you want. If I want to buy a bag, then and I got that money in my play money account, I buy a bag with it.
As long as the bills are
it's
covered.
not, as long as the things that are holding that household together, whatever our structure is, if we are investing, if we are saving to buy
Right,
a certain
right.
thing, if our bills are being paid, and all of those things are set up, then if you got it, then buy it.
Right.
And
I
then there's
agree.
no conversation. There's no need
No,
to have a
agreed.
conversation
A lot of
There's
that,
because
no need to.
everything's covered.
I think what we're talking about at some point is a lack of communication in a relationship where someone is doing more than they should simply because they
right.
can. Right now, money is always a divider in a relationship. In
All
a marriage.
the time.
Marriage, money and sex are the two big deviants in a relationship / marriage. Now, if you structure your relationship from the very beginning, transparently saying, okay, we're coming together. You're making $2, I'm making $3. That's $5. Our household bills are $250. That means we have $250 for other purposes.
Right.
50 of that is going to go towards investment. The other 50 is going to go towards savings.
Right.
And then 50 we may use for entertainment.
Right.
If everyone abide by that structure, they shouldn't be an issue in the relationship.
Agreed.
But what do you feel?
It's about
like,
the structure of it
right?
all.
But see, here go my thing with that is I felt like, again, because we're in the age, right, where we done did a lot. I'm fine where I'm at. So my thing is even coming into a relationship, it would be the same thing as far as let's turn around and figure what we need to put here. But once we put this here, then my thing is I'm kind of really done with what I got, what you got, because again, it's not like Eve, for instance, you've been married a long time. So your thing is different.
Right.
Because you got time in everything invested within your wife. You're talking about 30 years.
35.
So 35, right. So
That's awesome.
you better split something. So
That's
what
awesome.
I'm trying to tell you is that when you're coming in at 50, 51, 52, 53, like I said, you have investments, you have 401ks, you have homes, you have real estate property. Again, to me is, okay, I have these investments already. Now, if we choose to make a commitment and invest, then again, the relationship is a business. So we need to set up whatever certain accounts that I have, we're going to do together. Now, what this over here is, and what I spend this, it shouldn't matter long as what we discussed.
Yeah, Rod,
That's what Shay said.
Rod, there's a problem with that. Now,
Go ahead.
I know you, and I've known you for a long time. You're a solid brother who has created a wonderful foundation for yourself.
Right.
Lots of assets, etc. Now, if someone comes into your space, I'm sure you're going to expect them to come with a certain level.
Of course.
Of economics. And once they come with that level of economics, you still have to sit down and have a baseline conversation about how we're going to spend the money.
Exactly.
Now, in a relationship, if you're going to tell someone, this is my money, that's your money, and then we're going to spend this money, that's a problem.
Why is it a problem?
It's going to be a problem because when they start spending their money on things that you don't consider to be important, a Birkin bag, red bottom shoes, etc.
Right, but I like red bottom shoes, by the way. But what I'm saying is that, again, if you chose to spend that on that, as long as this is here, you could do whatever you want. Buy as many red bottoms as you want. But what you can do is say, I bought 4 pair of red bottoms and I can't put this here. Now we have a problem.
I agree.
Okay. Can I say something? Because from my understanding, Rashay, you are the man that wants to come in and take care of the bills, right?
Yeah.
And whatever her money is, she can go and invest and whatever that she needs to do.
Exactly.
So then, so let me.
But he's talking about
But
if we decide to put future investments and
Right.
do
No, I
other
get
things.
that part. But for
Right,
you to
so-
take care of all the bills, then she's not necessarily contributing to those bills. So whatever her money is, she's investing. She's doing.
It's right. So
Why
I shouldn't
she
have.
not
I
at
should.
bottoms?
But he's saying if you're coming together and y'all are making a financial plan. So now if we coming together
Right.
and we're making a financial plan, that's cool. I got that. I got this. You got that. That needs to be here at this day.
Oh, is
You're
that a
right. You're
bill?
talking
Is that a
prenuptials,
bill?
brother.
Huh?
Is that a bill?
Oh,
You're
very much
talking
so.
prenuptials.
Very much so.
Oh, is that a bill? Oh,
Very
okay.
much so.
okay.
Very
Okay.
much so. Huh?
So
That's
you're
wrong.
not in agreement that a man is expected to pay a woman's bills in the relationship.
He can pay what he want to pay. Shit, let me tell you
No,
something.
I'm asking you. No, I'm asking you.
Hold on. Is a man expected to pay? But yeah, he's expected to pay. He's gonna pay something.
No.
Oh,
I'm
he gonna
asking
pay
you a
something.
question.
Yes.
Is a man
expected
should be
to pay-
expected to pay a woman's
Of
bills?
course he is. Of course.
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
hell yeah.
no.
Ain't nothing
No.
for free, bro. Ain't,
The
that
reality
box
is-
ain't
the
free.
reality
The
is
reality
this.
is it ain't
If-
free.
If you're not married, why are you paying all of anybody's bills?
If you want to come back again, you ain't gonna.
Listen,
You ain't
No,
gonna.
I don't.
if that's the
you ain't
if
gonna
that's
keep
the
getting
value,
there. Yo,
if that's
let me
if that's
tell you,
the value of your relationship, the relationship will never last.
no. But again, if you're not married, how long are you going to be together before you get married? See, it's a catch-22 to that. But
5 months.
there's also saying dry hands and a wet ass don't get no woman nowhere. Bottom line, I'm trying to tell it to you.
And
You
I'm not
gonna
even
pay-
talking about two separate households. I mean,
Yeah.
people move in together, they might not be married. So even in that
Oh no, if
situation,
we're living together, I'm definitely not paying your bills.
But first of all, if you're living together, you're living like married people. That's the
exactly.
problem with you guys. Just because you don't have paper,
No, I'm
mean-
in agreement. I'm in agreement.
Hold
with
on,
you.
you know when you get too close to me, what I do, bro?
yeah, but you,
Right,
you
so-
yeah.
What we're talking about is two people who have decided to cohabitate together.
Right.
We're
Any
talking
two
about two
people-
separate households.
Any
If
two
you
people that
choose to
decide,
cohabitate, I
Rob,
ain't paying shit.
cut it out.
Yeah.
But you're the dude that brings people into your space,
Right?
and then when they don't do what you think they should be doing,
What happens?
they get dismissed.
Rolling.
The problem with
Rolling.
that is you'll never find a stable, happy relationship if you just keep dismissing people.
Shit.
I am
You're
so
getting
glad
old.
we
You're
have him
getting-
on the show.
Listen,
Let's
you're
have him
getting
back.
old. You're getting old just like the ladies. And believe me, just like, we find those attributes about them when they get older that we don't like.
Look at all this shit here.
Okay. There'll be something that's lacking. That's going to have people.
No. But what I'm saying is because with me, why I could keep it moving because I feel like I changed lives, right? So I believe I make
Yeah.
a woman's life better. So if you're not getting better within yourself,
Financially, Rob.
yeah,
Financially.
hell yeah.
If
Hell
you're only
yeah.
talking about finances, but there's so much
We're
more.
talking about finance. Ain't no
We're
more of
not
that.
just talking about finances. We're talking about the bills part, yes. But if you said you make a woman's life better
woman made this song.
financially,
What's the name of the song? No romance without finance.
no, that's not what we're saying. Though. If you're looking at it from that shallow perspective, then
It's
yeah, I
not
get it.
shallow.
But
It's not.
well, let me finish my
Go
thought.
ahead.
I'm saying that if you're saying you're adding to a woman, you're making her life better, and you're only talking about finances, then that's
the
little
number
shallow.
one, but that's not shallow because that's the number one situation that you got to deal with. If you don't want to think about it, y'all call it what y'all want to call.
Well, let me ask you this, Rock. You meet a woman and she's financially stable and she doesn't need or want your money. What value do you have in her life if all you
It's
could
not
do is
about
pay bills?
it's not about need and wanting money. It's about lifestyle, growing, doing whatever you want to do. Like I said, I'm used to taking 3, 4, 5 vacations. Hold up.
That
You
wasn't
asked
the
me a
question.
question.
You're going back to
Right.
money.
No. So the value is everything is going to come down to the dollar because again, you have to live. Okay.
It doesn't come.
All right, but let's
All right,
say
so
you
we're
meet a
gonna-
woman.
Right.
Let me just say you are where you are in your life, and you meet a woman who is equally financially stable. She has her own home. She has her own investments. She takes 4 and 5 vacations a
I've
year
dated
as
those too.
well. Right now, if she's has all of that and she meets you when you go, yeah, I got 2 cars, and she go, oh, that's nice, I got 3. And you
That's
go, I
great.
got a big house, and she go, that's nice, I
I
got
got
that
2.
3 properties, right?
Yeah,
Whatever the
that
case
works.
might be. What value are you bringing to the relationship? What
Oh, I
value
mean,
do
it's
you have besides salami?
no, it's not. You have a lot of value. What you do, you do.
Not men.
Again, me. I got value. I got growth.
What value do you have?
What do you mean? What value do I have? What? I'm not gonna say.
What are you bringing to the relationship?
I could bring me. I'm a great guy. I hang out. I'm a good guy. I'm a nice guy. I get along with everybody. I'm a good time to hang out with. I'm smart. I'm intelligent. For her,
What the
but
woman?
that's
the
everything.
Woman.
But that's everything in a relationship. What does a relationship have? If you're going to be able to get along with somebody, enjoy somebody. I mean, yeah, love, girl. Yeah, love. Of course, it's love all the time. But you ain't gonna just turn around and say, "Oh, love ain't paying the goddamn bills." I tell you.
No, okay, I understand exactly what you're saying, but I want to add to that as far as because you mentioned that you're coming into a relationship and you're adding value to her life. If you take away the finances, what value are you
everything
adding
else?
To her life?
Just people
but
coming
I'm
together.
trying to understand what that is.
Just people coming together, experiencing, growing, conversation, anything, everything adds value. But at the same point is you cannot take the finances out of it.
Eric,
what? Huh?
I want to pose the same question to you, Eric, and I want to hear. I would love to hear your perspective from what I've just explained.
I'll tell you what value I bring to a relationship. I mean, the finances is one thing. I've always been able to take care of my family. Like I said, my wife always made more money than me, but that's never been the issue. The values are trust, protection, respect. Me, I'm a jack of all trades, so I bring that too. Something break, guess who fix it? Me. I can do everything that this woman needs in addition to providing for her. I make her happy. I'm good in the bed, right? And when the issues come up,
no salami.
When the issues come up, I take care of them.
Yeah, but that's it. Yeah.
She tells me I make her happy.
Speak on it.
She's proud of me, right? When your wife looks at you and says, I'm really proud of you. You're a complete man. After 35 years, then you have accomplished what you have tried to accomplish.
Exactly.
That's not to say that there hasn't been bumps and lumps along the road of 35 years, but the bottom line is work, the engagement, the work. That's what people not wanting to do is the work. They get hung up on, oh, do you really love me? Or how much money you have? Why don't we have 3 cars? And all of this other nonsense. The superficial stuff. Right? That's what we get hung up on. The values of my dad said to me, she said, son, you can go to college and get 4 or 5 degrees. I've been to undergraduate school, graduate school, law school. I've been to all of that. But he told me, he said, listen, you have to go out and get skills to work with your hands. Because on any given day, the person that you're working for can come in and say to you, we no longer need your services. Mm-hmm. You still have to be able to provide for your family.
Exactly.
Right. Agree.
You still have to be able to go out in the street and make a living, an honest living for your family. I think that's the added value that I bring to my marriage. So when you ask what in addition to money in terms of values, those are the things I hope you're referring to.
That was exactly the answer I was looking for. Because one of the things that Michelle and I sometimes struggle with Rob about is that becomes the catalyst for him feeling like he's valued in the relationship when it comes to a woman. And what we've been trying to say is that it takes more than just taking care of all of the bills.
Of course.
In order for you to show up in a woman's life and make her feel safe and secure.
Of course.
It's bigger than the opportunity to buy whatever bags I want to buy. If I come home and I don't feel emotionally supported, then it doesn't matter that all of my bills are paid. Right?
No,
if I don't feel like I'm being heard, or I'm feeling like I'm devalued because I don't have the ability to pay the bills, and therefore you make all the decisions or whatever the case. Those things matter equally
Right.
Right.
as much
Right.
as
It's a
the fact
balance,
that
though.
you are paying the
I think
bills.
I think the small things in a relationship is what
Makes
Are the
more
big
sense.
things.
Exactly.
is what
Right.
really sustains a relationship.
Yes,
Now
absolutely.
I'm a fantastic cook. You know, I'm pat myself on the back. I'm a fantastic cook. My wife works, and I'm retired. So when she comes home, I'm going to have that meal prepared for her, right? Every Thursday, I'm going to make sure there are fresh flowers on the table because that's me. And I know that's what she likes, right? That's what makes her happy. That's added value that she doesn't ask for, but I give, right? We have to find ways to supplement our relationships, our marriages, if they're going to last. And that has to be an example to your children if you have them. I have 3 wonderful daughters, and when they see me doing the things that I do, I hope and pray that they're saying to themselves, that's the kind of man I want
But see,
in my life.
But on the other side of it, they see you as a family guy. They see you as a protector. They see you as a provider. They see you as a lot. Like, so let me give y'all a backdrop, being that we went over anyway. So I needed some work done in my house, right? So they said, I got this fabulous contractor, right? So I said, yeah, let them come over. So he came over. We worked out a price. He started working. We really started kicking it. Yo, so he started telling me, his, everything that he's doing, what he's done in life, this, that, and other. And dog, when I tell you, Lachey, Michelle, this man has lived in Africa. This man he's moved around the world. He's lived in DC. He's been in the military. He's been in federal jobs. He's worked with the state of New York. And I'm sitting here listening to him, and I'm saying, this nigga is lying. He's got to be lying. Because it's a big bet. Yo, his list was long. So once we got real cool, he's like, yo, Rob, come to my crib. Dog, when I walked into this dude's house, mind you, I'm thinking I'm the dude, right? So I'm sitting there, yeah, all right, whatever, go to the crib. Yo, his house looked like an African dojo, right? Then all these plaques of everything that he said that he's done in life was for real. And then with his children, right? With his children, it was pretty amazing because Newburgh gets a pretty bad rep. And his girls are the most beautiful girls that like coming out that I have seen in the school district as far as honor students. His wife is a beautiful person, and we just go ahead and went to grow. But one thing I can say is I believe his family identifies with him as a protector and a provider. The other shit is cute, but that's what he does. Literally, because I have that relationship. Like I said, I know the relationship. So
he said the other things are
it's cute. The other things are necessary.
But they are necessary. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is when they looked at daddy, they looked to the husband, is he has that kind of thing where it's like that's what it is. Like dad is dad. Like it's just weird. Like you have to be in it to see it. So I get it and I understand it, but at the same point is that's what made me really us to have the relationship. It was deep. It was really, really a deep thing. But he to me, I took him as a provider and a protector as his first 2 highest qualities, which I felt was dope.
And I think all of that is. Go ahead, Shay. Go ahead.
Do you think that protection has to do with the heart and the mind as well? Because it's not just physically getting the door at 2 a.m.
No, it's not that, but it's.
So how is that the other stuff is?
Because
cute?
like the other stuff, like you said, he cooks it for the wife. I get it. That's good. We all that's stuff that you do in a relationship. Period. But like I said, when he says he's able to turn around somebody with so many degrees, with a federal background, with a federal pension, and turn around and say, I'm going to go out and build a house. That is a whole nother form of an income. It's a whole nother way of providing for your family.
Ah, I see where you're
You
going.
understand
Agreed.
what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
so when it
Okay.
says
So
that
he
it's
has
talent,
multi-skilled.
he
He's
has
multi-skilled.
skills in,
Yes.
in everything else.
Gotcha.
And when I got with him, the thing was, I was just coming into retirement. I was thinking about everything, and our conversations is like, yo, you need to move like this. You should try to move like this. You should try to think like this, or you do. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the stuff it is, but dealing with, you know, like I said, 35 years of marriage is hard when you're single, and you're coming into it because you have to get the complete picture.
Yeah, and I love the fact that he laid it all out the way he laid it out. So he's very well rounded.
Yes,
this is why he's 35 years into his marriage because of all of that.
I think that marriages starts from day one. You know, I've always, when I say always, I've only had 3 relationships in my life, and each of them have been long-term relationship in terms of long-term. One for 2 years, one for 3 years, and then my marriage. But the reality is you have to be serious about what you want and find a person that you think can help you to accomplish that particular goal. The problem with a lot of us is we want everything, and we want some of her and some of her and some of her, and then we get nothing accomplished because we're spread too thin, right? We're spread too thin. I said to Rashay when I first met him, I said, Rashay, where you are now is where I wish I was when I was your age, because he was doing so well as a person in terms of assets and his love for his children, and he was married at the time. And I was like, man, if you keep doing these things, by the time you're my age, you're going to be that guy, because you're in that top 10% of what every woman claimed they're looking for. Right? You have all of those attributes. Now they can come and, you know, dismiss 1 or 2, but there's still going to be 8 attributes there that someone could take and make a really, really meaningful relationship. Agreed. In my estimation, you know.
Agreed.
I have my 3 daughters, and I say to them, when you choose a man, first and foremost, make sure it's a man that you can respect. If you can't respect him, then that's a bad start.
Right. Agreed.
Look for a provider and a protector. Everything else will fall into place if he has those 3 qualities.
Now that I agree with.
Right? Because believe it or not, women help to build us into the men that we become. If we share and respect their opinions, right? That's why the 50-50 thing is just, I think, euphemism for me. When someone tells me, oh, are you in a 50-50 relationship? I said, no, I don't know what the hell that is.
I think everybody should be contributing 100% to any relationship, whatever that looks like.
That's it. The bottom line is I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do as a man, and I expect my wife to do what she is supposed to do, which is take care of my children and take care of our home in all its facets.
Bam, you a bam. So.
Now, we're not talking about, staying, cook for me and make my bed, and, those are shared duties in the household.
Thank you.
As a man. And that has nothing to do with alpha man or beta man.
Right.
I'm a neat freak. So if I see dishes in the sink, I get crazy. And when I get crazy, that means I have to go over there and wash those dishes so I can calm myself down.
You're not going to be like, get in here and get these dishes out the sink.
Exactly. I'm going to wash them because I can.
Because I pay the bills.
No, that's not going to work.
I'll say, like, she got to go. I'm changing the
That's it. I got 3 dishes in the sink. I said, I'm paying these bills and I got dirty dishes in the sink. Oh, she got to go.
It's too easy to say,
woman,
you got to go. That's the problem we're having now.
Yeah,
it is.
Easy to say you got to go.
All right, but we have went way over. I thought this was an awesome conversation, and Eric, you added so much to this conversation.
I want to thank you guys for inviting me. I hope at some point in the future you'll invite me back.
Oh, you'll be back. Oh, for sure.
But I thank you, Rashay. I thank you, brother. You always come through for me.
This was a good time, a good conversation, and so thank you for pouring into this and giving your perspective. And Ra, I hope you learned something because we've been
I
trying to
learned
tell
nothing.
you.
You ain't
You
telling me
just-
nothing.
Well, we were trying to make you understand.
You ain't
We're
telling
trying
me
to make
nothing.
you understand. I hope you
You
got it.
still gonna clean them goddamn dishes.
You know, let me just tell this real quick. I was a little nervous when Rashay said I got somebody on the show. I was like, oh no, does this man think exactly like him?
And
Because
I
then
said to Michelle, nobody thinks like Ross, so I'm sure
Nah,
we
because
gonna have a different.
nah, because the talks we have are really deep. Like, and every time I got something going on, I'd be like, "Yo, bro, what do you think about this?" Then I had a
Yeah.
flood. I had to call him, "Yo, my house was underwater."
Yeah, when Michelle said he called him his
mentor, I said, I
and
think we
was
might
like,
be in
that's
trouble.
deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I've heard Rashay give
Ever
another
say that
man
anybody.
title or that
No.
accolade of in his
I
life.
see why.
So-
I see why. I see
We're
why
trying.
now.
We're trying to get
Exactly.
him straight. We're trying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Eric, yes, thank
He'll
you.
get there.
You know what he
He'll
has
get
to
love
do?
him.
He just has to listen more.
We'll
He'll
beat
get
him.
there.
Eric, we'll continue to beat him and you just smooth out the edges, all right?
I see, but
Thank
now
you.
what I'm gonna have to tell on you, I'm gonna have to tell on you, like, listen, Eric, I need you to get this guy together because he over here tripping. So,
Well, now you have my contact. I'll keep him
That's
straight. Thank you, guys.
exactly.
All right.
You're welcome.
I
But guys, we're
appreciate
gonna
you.
end the show.
So,
Go ahead.
right, I hope
Yes.
our viewers, we just want to make sure you catch us on our platforms. So we are on Twitch, we are on Spotify, we are
And-
on iHeartRadio,
and-
we are on YouTube,
Hey.
and we are on UBU
U
Radio.
Radio.
So follow us, like, share, keep it going.
And since this is our season finale, we will see you guys in May, which will be the beginning of the mental health month. So, you know, we're gonna have some good stuff.
Yeah, I
for
got
you
a lot
guys.
of stuff to talk about them. 'Cause
Yeah,
they got
so, you
some
know, we
issues,
end every
so
show with a
we
quote
go-
that we do not have. So we're gonna wing it this night, this evening. And what I am gonna say is that whatever your relationship looks like, just long as it's respect and love and balance, keep it like that. And we're gonna see you
Agreed.
guys next season. Peace and love.
Woo! Thank you.